over here. Top of the list. A lot of quarterbacks that kind of stood out to me this week, but I went with the guy that I thought was the safest play by far, and that's Kyler Murray. $6,800, picking on Detroit, of course.
Who was shaken up a little while ago. On first and goal from the one, here is Murray trying to deke the defender, and he does. Touchdown by Murray, and what a dance he put on.
With his production next on this list, this should not be a surprise. Austin Ekeler, $6,800, same price as Kyler Murray, facing that Carolina Panthers. Again, we're just going to attack them every week. We're putting that thumb over the name, and we're attacking Carolina. Now,
Ekeler ducks inside to the 10, to the 5, touchdown!
here. Love me some Calvin Ridley. No Julio Jones just makes me like him even more. The guy is getting it done. He has 2 touchdowns both of his game, but the best part about Calvin Ridley is he doesn't need those touchdowns to get a return on value. He has 7 or more catches in both of his games, over 100 yards in both of his games. So you take away the touchdowns, he's getting you a return on your investment. So I like him.
36 following the missed field goal off the fake to Gurley. Ryan going deep for Ridley. He makes the catch inside the 10 of the 5 and then forced out of bounds. Big play to start this game. Without Julio Jones, it's Matt Ryan to Calvin Ridley.
And last on this list, I'm grabbing that flag. I'm playing it down. This is my guy this week. He will be in 100% of my lineups. Tight end Drew Sample.
Where are you going? Home. I'm walking home.
Oh, well, pardon me, Mr. Perfect. I guess I forgot that you never ever make a mistake.
Drew Sample. Oh man, that did not feel good. Oh man. Hey, Court 4 did good, but that Drew Sample pick, that was one I'll probably not forget for a long, long time. What's going on, everyone? My name's the Big AC, Andy Chevalier, aka 401 Crew 1 on DraftKings. Don't forget to check out that YouTube page there, The Fantasy Life with AC. The Fantasy Life with AC also on Facebook and at Trivia with AC on Twitter. So the Core 4, let's do a little recap before we get into today's show. Core 4 flat out did great. I mean, point-wise, we invested $24,000. We got back over 75 points. We got that 3X, exactly what we want. Drew Sample did not do well. You know, if we replaced him with like a Jimmy Graham for essentially the same price, man, our lineups would have been fantastic. But we did well. We made money for sure, but a good weekend could have been a fantastic weekend. I will say this will be the end of the Drew Sample stuff. He played 90% of the snaps. He was 6th in tight ends in week 3 in offensive snaps played. The guy was on the field. The research was there. Philly is god-awful against tight ends. We didn't get the results. He got 1 target, 1 catch. Woof. Not what we're looking for. Core 4, though, everywhere else was pretty solid. So, let's get rolling here with the show. We had our question of the week for last week. Let's check that out. Yeah, our question of the week last week: what current NFL quarterback currently leads the NFL in pass attempts going in to week number 3? We did have a winner. Joe Burrow was the correct answer. That was answered correctly by Greg Chevalier. Yes, there is a relation. He gets that $1 free tickets this week. Joe Burrow was the correct answer. Let's see what question of the week is for week number 4 here. A little more difficult question here. In his 15-year career playing for 8 different teams, which team is the only team that Ryan Fitzpatrick threw more than 30 touchdowns for in one season? So long career for Fitzpatrick, played for a lot of different teams. Only 1 year he threw for more than 30 touchdowns. What team was that with? First person to get that right will win a $1 ticket. Let's look at our target leaders going into week number 4. Again, why is targets important? Targets equals opportunity. Opportunity equals points for us in daily fantasy. So let's see what we got here for target leaders. Top of the list, no surprise whatsoever, of course. DeAndre Hopkins just still slaying it. He's got that valuable Scrabble letter next to him, unfortunately, but he's just absolutely getting it done. An absolute monster. 32 catches on his 37 targets. That's called efficient, folks. Keenan Allen under that, we talked about him last week. I mean, he's still getting the work. Don't like the matchup this week, but man, he's going to be someone we got our eyes on. Amari Cooper, again, he is someone we're having on our radar this week. So, like me, Amari, like seeing him leading the on top of the leaderboard for target leaders. Calvin Ridley, of course. Alvin Kamara, 31 targets. Guy had 11 catches last game. So no Michael Thomas equals slam dunk Alvin Kamara. Allen Robinson in a get right game. What did we say, man? This was your last week to get right, and he did. He didn't let us down. Allen Robinson with the big one. Tyler Rockets leading the way for the Seattle Seahawks there. AJ Green, a lot of targets, not a lot of productivity. Very disappointing. Stephon Diggs. All right, man. Diggs, you're in the club now, man. I've been disrespecting Diggs for quite a long time. Last week I talked about how I never even have him on my radar. I never drafted him. All right, man. You got my attention. Great matchup this week. We'll talk more about Diggs later. Darren Waller leading all tight ends in targets. Very disappointing game last week against the Patriots, but maybe we like him a lot this week. Maybe he makes appearance in our 4 Ace segment. Travis Kelce underneath that, Mr. Consistency, no surprise there. DJ Moore with 26 targets. Tyler Boyd, another guy getting a lot of work, looking like to be Burrow's favorite target there above AJ Green. AJ Green has more targets, but Boyd, a lot more efficient with what he's getting. Terry McFly with 25. Deontay Johnson, despite getting hurt, still leads his team in targets there. Zach Ertz with Dallas Goedert going down. We're going to love some Zach Ertz going forward. Jules leading the way for the Patriots there with 24. Double J, Jerry Jeudy had a nice game last night. 24 catches going into week number 4. And Russell Gage, again, Julio Jones not on this list. I know he didn't play, but Russell Gage still getting targets, and he got knocked out of the game last week too. So trends we're going to want to keep track of, folks. Trends we're going to want to keep track of. So, again, no more core 4. We're doing our 4 aces. Kind of makes sense. My name's AC. I'm into cards. Yeah, we went with it. It works. 4 aces this week. Again, we're using MOP, right? We're going to mop up the competition. Matchup, opportunity, price. That's what we're going to focus on when conducting our core 4. These are 4 guys that will be in the large majority of my lineup. Let's look at our first guy that we have over here. Let's start at the quarterback position. A couple of ways I could have went this week, but I think we're going to need to save money based on some of the guys we want. So my quarterback of the week, Ryan Fitzmagic over here versus Seattle, $5,400. Again, we're looking for a 20-point game out of Ryan Fitzpatrick for us to be happy with what we're spending on him. Again, you go with Russell Wilson, no one's going to blame you. It makes sense. He's going to destroy Miami. I think personally it's easier to get Fitzmagic and Seattle pieces than it is to get Russ and the Miami pieces. I think Fitzpatrick is just better. Plus, Fitzpatrick has that rushing upside. I mean, he drives his body like he stole it. He's playing on borrowed time. He knows it. He knows this is probably his last rock concert. You know, he's only got a couple more years left in the tank. So Fitzpatrick, 5,400, great matchup. He checks off every box for us. He makes the core 4 this week. Expect good things out of Ryan Fitzpatrick. Running back, guess who? Whoever's facing Carolina. Kenyon Drake. And now the reason why I love Kenyon Drake is we mentioned earlier DeAndre Hopkins has that valuable Scrabble letter next to his name. Doesn't look like Nuke's going to play. He didn't practice 2 days in a row. And if he plays, no way he's 100%. Arizona should roll over Carolina. I don't think they're going to need to do it on the ground. Kyler Murray, I expect to have a good play. Almost made my core 4. But I think Kenyon Drake's a little bit safer. Again, I'm following the formula. Whoever faces Carolina, I'm not messing with it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It literally hasn't done us wrong once. So Kenyon Drake, you made the lineup. Good price, good opportunity, great, best matchup. Number 3, newcomer on the 4 Aces segment over here. My guy Bob Woods, Bobby Trees, against that cupcake matchup against the New York Jets. He's less expensive than Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp just came off a good game. People I think are kind of backpedaling on Robert Woods here. I mean, we're getting everything with him. Like, we're getting targets, we're getting opportunities. I mean, it's even better that the Rams are home this game. Jared Goff plays significantly better at home. Their running game's a little bit beat up, so kind of leads you to believe they're going to pass more. I just like Robert Woods a lot this week, $6,300. We're looking for that 18 or 20 spot to get a return on investment. He's got 20 or more. He got 20 more points in 2 out of his 3 games this year. So I really like this, and this is by far his best matchup of the year. All right, and last on this list, I'm going back to the well. Drew Sample. No, I'm just kidding. Darren Waller, $5,200 against Buffalo. We mentioned him earlier today. He leads the tight ends, all tight ends in targets right now. Also, Darren Waller, interesting fact, led all tight ends week 3 in snaps played. Snaps played over Travis Kelce, over everyone. Literally number 1 on the list for snaps played for Darren Waller. $5,200, good matchup against Buffalo. No Ruggs, no Johnson. I think Waller's just going to get all the work right now, so it looks like the only 2 guys in Raiders uniforms that are catching balls are either Hunter Renfrow, Nelson Aguilar, or Darren Waller right now. So I like Darren Waller as the clear-cut best option against Buffalo right there. Fully expecting him. He did have a stinker last week, so possibly his ownership's going to be lower. It's only going to help us. So I really like Waller there as a high floor play. All this salary combined is a really good number right here, $22,000, $900. So I really like 22.9 is right where we want to be. We get an inexpensive defense. I didn't mention defense last week. Again, I'm either going with the best matchup on the paper or the least expensive defense that doesn't make me want to throw up in my mouth. So the best day defense this week by far, without a doubt, Ravens versus Washington. Ravens are just going to absolutely smash Washington this week. So Ravens, if you want to spend the most money, that's where I'm going for sure. No brainer. But if you want to go least expensive, I would like the Houston Texans defense against Minnesota. Minnesota's on the road. Kirk Cousins plays significantly worse on the road. So I like Houston for a basement price of $2,500. So you combined a bottom price defense in this salary, that's going to leave you with roughly $25,000 to fill out 4 positions. And we can get some big boys. We can get some Kamara in there. We can, a lot of the big name receivers we can get in there. It gives you just a ton of options to kind of get some flexibility with your lineup. So that's where we're going to be for our 4 aces right over here. Those are my 4 that we're going to go. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Kenyon Drake, Robert Woods, and Darren Waller. $22,000 salary, let's call it 23. If we get 70 points out of these 3 guys, we are exactly where we need to be. There are some other guys we like this week as well in the running back position. And I'm going to start off with the top. So if I have my 4 aces, here's my wild card right here. Alvin Kamara. If Michael Thomas does not play this week, Alvin Kamara needs to be in 100% of your lineups. Just make it happen, Captain. If MT does not play, that offense runs through Kamara. We saw last year when Kamara didn't play, that offense ran through Michael Thomas. Breeze is a very predictable quarterback. That's why I was very big on Tre'Quan Smith earlier, because I thought he'd get a lot of the work. But also, I kind of was swinging Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara hasn't been on our radar the past 2 weeks because he has been on primetime slates. He hasn't been on the Sunday slate. This is his first time here on the Sunday slate. Michael Thomas does not play. Kamara gets you everything. Again, the guy had 11 catches last week. Clearly the 101 if we were to redraft today right now. So, again, Michael Thomas does not play. Alvin Kamara, 100% of your lineups. Underneath that, I think there's a big tier drop-off in running backs this week. James Robinson, $6,500. I saw a lot about of this guy, against the I believe they faced the Jets or whoever, Jackson. Oh, I'm sorry. They faced Miami against Fitzmagic. James Robinson just was the best player on the field, and I think, honestly, that includes DJ Chark. I think James Robinson's just the man. He does everything. His price is great. He's got a return on investment every single week, minus week 1. and he's just clearly the guy there in Jacksonville. Really liking what I'm seeing. Underneath that, Darrell Henderson, both games he started, both games he's gotten you 20 points. I've liked this guy 5,800 a lot. We talked about why we like Bob Woods. Malcolm Brown, again, he's playing, but he had surgery on his finger. He has a broken finger, and he's still playing. Cam Akers is not going to play. I like Darrell Henderson a lot. Whoever the starting running back is for the Rams has value. Great matchup against the New York Giants here. Benny Snell ran for 100 yards against them. So, again, really like Darrell Henderson, $5,800. I have Joe Mixon here for $5,800 as well. I think this is a get-right game. Joe Mixon is this week's Allen Robinson, right? If you don't do it for me this week against Jacksonville, you're probably not getting it done, right? So, Bro Mixon, you're on the list. This is your get-right game. Otherwise, you're out of the club. Myles Gaskin for $5,000. So, if you don't go with a receiver to stack with Fitzpatrick, or if you go Russell Wilson as your quarterback, I think Myles Gaskin for $5,000 really makes sense. He's getting all the pass-catching stuff. Breida's pretty much an afterthought. It is discouraging to see that Jordan Howard is getting the goal line stuff from the 1-yard line, but Myles Gaskin, $5,000. It won't take a lot for you to get a return on your investment here. So I do like Myles Gaskin. Let's see what receivers we're also using this week. Again, we're tacking that Seattle-Miami game, right? So Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, lock buttons. I think, honestly, if you're going to use Fitzpatrick, one of these guys has to be in your lineup, if not both. Plenty of lineups I'm doing. I get both of these guys in. So Lockett, Metcalf, like them both a lot. I guess I'll take the DK discount for $200 less. But, again, these guys are just great. Stephon Diggs, $6,800. I just got to give the guy respect. I don't know what else he has to do to kind of earn, get in my lineups every week. So Diggs, you're in the club, man. Don't let me down. Great matchup this week against the Raiders. Amari Cooper, third in the NFL in targets right there. Cowboys are home. Great matchup against Cleveland. For sure in play. Absolutely for sure in play. Underneath that, Tyler Boyd, again, leading not leading his team in targets, but he is on the target leaderboard of all NFL receivers. So love Tyler Boyd, like his price right there. And again, he seems to be the most reliable targets for the Cincinnati Bengals right now. Other receivers that we're using this week, Will Fuller. Again, we're attacking Minnesota, right? We're sticking with our formula, attacking these really bad secondaries. I mean, fully expect the goose egg from Fuller. This is what he does. Maybe he's a odd and even guy. Last week he had a good week. Week before he had a bad week. So maybe odd weeks he does well, even weeks he does bad. But regardless, I'm just kind of ignoring that superstition, and I'm going Will Fuller against Minnesota here. Great price here, $5,900. Should be getting a lot of work. Devonta Parker, again, attacking that Seattle Miami game here. Love the price, leading the team in targets. Seems to be the favorite target. Marvin Jones, I hate using the words I have a hunch or I have a feeling, but I have a feeling this is the Marvin Jones week. I feel it. Every year we get that random 100 yards, 3-touchdown game. And this just feels like it. Detroit's home. Detroit's a significantly better team when Kenny Galladay's on the field. When your playmakers on the field, you're getting first down, you're extending the drives. Man, I love me some Marvin Jones this week. $4,900 for a guy that can put up a 30 spot. And honestly, he never goes a game without getting a catch. So I like Marvin Jones a lot. The New Orleans Saints secondary is not what it was last year, that's for sure. So I like $4,900. Probably is my favorite tournament play of the week. I might be getting a little too aggressive with my usage with Marvin Jones. I'm not going to say he's Drew Sample, but he is going to be in a large majority of my tournament lineups this week. Zach Pascal underneath that for $4,400. Again, Paris Campbell, gone. Michael Pittman, gone. T.Y. Hilton, not a reliable target right now. So Zach Pascal, he seems to be the guy for me, and he's like the only guy left. We talked about him last week. He kind of let us down, but I really like this price tag. The matchup is pretty good. Not one of our elite matchups, but he's the only guy there. Phillip Rivers, incredibly predictable. Look for a bounce back week for Zach Pascal. Scotty Miller, you're going to want to pay attention to this because he is kind of banged up right now. I believe he has a groin injury. But $4,100, no Chris Godwin. He's got to be in play, right? You're going to need some cheap plays if you're going to go Lockett, Amari Cooper, DK Metcalf. So Scotty Miller for sure in play this week, 4,100, great price. And Tom Brady loves his slot receiver. All right, and let's see what else we got over here. Tight ends this week. I mean, I really like Darren Waller, but I like these guys a lot too. Mark Andrews, always in play for me. I think Baltimore is going to beat down Washington. I think they're going to come in there and just absolutely make a statement. I mean, I'm okay with starting Lamar and the Ravens D. I think they're just going to destroy him, but Mark Andrews seems to be the favorite target, specifically in the red zone. He had a couple of goal line targets there. Couldn't quite put him down against Kansas City, but Mark Andrews, watch for him to bounce back this week. Really like him as a contrarian play. I don't think a lot of people are going to have him on the radar, honestly, because of what they saw. Mike Gesicki, going to be very popular. He's going to be a very popular matchup with Fitzpatrick. He has big game potential. There's some random games where he just catches 8 balls, gets in the end zone. So like Gesicki a lot for 5,100. Underneath that's probably my safest guy of the week, Hunter Henry. He won't win you the slate, but he definitely won't lose you the slate. Guarantee you he's going to be better than Drew Sample last week. He seems to be the first down target for Justin Herbert there. So Hunter Henry, 4,600. You won't regret it. He might not give you that 20 piece, but he's going to give you 15, between 12, 15 points. So I think for 50-50 lineups, cash game lineups, Hunter Henry is very, very safe. Underneath that's my discount tight end of the week. I almost had him in last week, but again, I kind of had my Drew Sample flag there. Jimmy Graham, $3,800. One thing I do like about Jimmy Graham, tough matchup for him, so he doesn't check off the matchup box, but opportunity and price are absolutely there. When Nick Foles came in the game, it felt like he got like 4 end zone targets, and he caught 2 of them. So I like that Nick Foles is targeting his tight end. Clearly, Nick Foles has a history of targeting tight ends, back in Philly. So I like Jimmy Graham, $3,800. The opportunity will be there. He isn't on the field as much as I like. He's only on the field roughly 60% of offensive snaps, which is not a number we love. But the price is there. The red zone targets are there. $3,800. You could certainly do a lot worse. Let's look at my radar players of the week. Again, these are guys you really want to kind of monitor their situation here. Number one on the list, I just can't emphasize it enough. Alvin Kamara, 100% of your lineups if Michael Thomas does not play. Period. Make it happen. Find a way. Go with the cheapest defense. Go with Jimmy Graham as your tight end if you can't fit in Waller. I fully admit it. Alvin Kamara is a must if Michael Thomas does not play. Number one player you need to keep on your radar. Underneath that, Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette, looks like he might not play. Practice on a very limited basis yesterday. So Ronald Jones, $4,700. You can't ignore that value for a starting running back. Probably will be a 3-down back minus LaShawn McCoy and passing down. So Ronald Jones, $4,700. I like the price a lot. Devin Singletary, I like the price. I like the matchup, and I love the opportunity. If Zach Moss does not play, we saw it last week, Devin Singletary is getting all the work, all 3 downs, in a great matchup for Devin Singletary this week. So again, something you're going to want to keep in mind there. Number 4, Carlos Hyde. If Chris Carson does not play, he did have a good week of practice. He practiced yesterday, but I think he's on the more doubtful side of questionable here. I don't think Seattle needs Chris Carson to win this game. So I think they're going to give him a week to get 100% and have Carlos Hyde kind of come in and do this. So again, Carlos Hyde, good price here, $5,200. Totally makes sense for me attacking a very awful Miami rushing defense. And last on this list, this is going to be a really interesting one here. Nick Chubb. Kareem Hunt didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday, folks. I don't know if you knew that. Nick Chubb might be the only show in Cleveland. So he might be getting all of the work. And I believe he's 7,000 on DraftKings right now. Man, that seems like a snap yes opportunity for me. So, man, I got to go Nick Chubb here. If Kareem Hunt does not suit up, Nick Chubb, lock button on that one. I really like that. So, again, really keep these 5 guys in your radar. This is going to be a tricky week, folks. It's already tricky with the COVID situation, with the Pittsburgh-Tennessee game getting postponed. This is going to be a week like every week, but I really think this one, you're going to get a ton of information Saturday to Sunday. So you really have to hammer down and lock down what you want to do. Keep track of those injuries, those inactives. You're going to make a lot of money if you can get those inactives, and I will try my absolute hardest to post those on the Fantasy Life page as well. Question for the fans. I had a question for the fans this week. We didn't get a fan question in, so I wanted to send a question out to you guys. This is on my Twitter page, @TriviaWithAC. Question for my daily fantasy football fans out there. What's your favorite play of the week on the Sunday main slate on DraftKings that's under $4,000 in price? Every week we're going to need to find these guys, right? Again, you can find all these questions, all these updated info, both on my Twitter page, @TriviaWithAC, Life on both YouTube and on Facebook, The Fantasy Life with AC. Guys under 4K this week. Honestly, a guy that really stood out to me was Isaiah Ford, $3,700, the wide receiver 3 for the Miami Dolphins. We saw what Dallas's number 4 receiver can do. So $3,700. Isaiah Ford is getting targets. He's getting a little bit of work. He might just get that random touchdown game, 6 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown. $3,700. I think that could really be fantastic. And I mentioned him briefly earlier. Nelson Aguilar, $3,600. I am not a fan of the player, but I am a fan of the situation. So with essentially no receivers available for Raiders right now, you can simply do a lot worse with Nelson Aguilar and Cordarrelle Patterson as well. Tariq Cohen out. I expect Cordarrelle Patterson to kind of get more of a workload. I believe he is $3,600 as well on DraftKings. So that is my my discount cheap plays of the week. Isaiah Ford, Nelson Aguilar, and Cordarrelle Patterson are my punt plays of the week. Again, question of the week, folks. In his 15-year career playing for 8 different teams, which team is the only team that Ryan Fitzpatrick threw more than 30 touchdowns for in one season? First person to answer that question correctly, either in the chat, whether it's be my personal page, the Fantasy Life with AC page on Twitter. First person to get that right wins a $1 ticket on DraftKings. My 4 aces this week: Ryan Fitzpatrick, $5,400. Kenyon Drake, $6,000. Robert Woods, Bobby Trees for $6,300. And Darren Waller for $52,000. This leaves you with roughly $27,000 of leftover salary to fill out your 9-man roster. Yeah, $25,000 if you include a cheap defense. So gives you a lot of options here. Great show this week, folks. Man, I can't emphasize it enough. If Michael Thomas does not play, Alvin Kamara must be in your lineups. I'm going to try my hardest to post those actives, inactives on game day, folks. Monitor those injuries, man. This could be a lot of info you're going to need before kickoff on Sunday. That's going to do it for me, folks. Thanks so much for watching the show. If you have not already, make sure you follow us on Facebook and on our YouTube page. Again, that info is at the bottom. The Fantasy Life with AC on YouTube, Fantasy Life with AC on Facebook, @Trivia with AC on Twitter, and of course, DraftKings handle 401Crew1. That's going to do it for me, folks. Hope you had a good one, and we will see you next time. Good luck out there on the Fantasy Gridiron. Take care, folks. Have a good one.